Hi, my name is Toller Pfaff-Carano, and for my presentation, I will be discussing why teachers are underpaid. My inspiration comes from the teachers who had a tremendous impact on my own life and helped make me the person I am today, as well as my own desire to become a teacher, but I won't be pursuing that path due to the low pay as well as the increasing cost of education, um, as well as the Serving in Florida essay that we read, um, which really got me thinking about the low pay that many professions receive in modern day society. Let's break it down. Teachers are essential workers. A society without teachers would simply not function. They are essential in instilling knowledge in students that helps them survive in the modern world, helps them get jobs, and also helps them develop socially. Teachers are tremendous role models for students, and especially those who have difficult upbringings and rough family lives. Teachers can be a sort of parental figure and really guide a student in all aspects of their lives and when they're in their developing years. And also, additionally, teachers spend the most time with students besides parents in a child's developing years and have tremendous impact on who they become as people later in their lives. So if we look at teacher pay, the average starting pay for a teacher is around $40,000 a year, and average salary is around $60,000 a year, which is far below the average U.S. salary, which is $82,000 a year. So teachers are underpaid compared to national averages, and starting teacher pay is tremendously low, especially with the increase in housing costs and the increased price to live, especially in states like California and New York. Um, Obviously, teacher pay is in decline, which is something that is perhaps not discussed as much as it should be. We really focus on the last 20 years of teacher pay declining, but in actuality, teacher pay has been declining at an increased rate since the 1970s. To give you a little reference point, in New York in 1970, the average salary for a first-year lawyer was only $2,000 more than that of a first-year teacher. So to put that in perspective, that's about $14,000 in today's money. So what that means is, first year working at a law firm in 1970, you would only make about $14,000 more in today's money than a teacher would their first year teaching in New York. However, compare that today, and a first year lawyer makes well over $100,000 more in their first year in their respective profession than a teacher in theirs. So that's a major increase. Additionally, around 18% of teachers have to work second jobs, and their lack of funding leads to a very high turnover rate of 16%, which refers to teachers who must change schools and or retire or choose to retire from the profession or quit at a young age. Um, that turnover rate also is estimated to cost the United States over $7 billion a year. So it's very costly for education funding as a whole. Solution and benefits. The obvious solution is to increase teacher pay. However, that's easier said than done. Many legislators highly oppose the increase to teacher pay and say that there's simply not enough money. Other alternative benefits that don't include directly increasing teacher pay would be pay scale bonuses based on performance, essentially. Changing the education system entirely and sort of reforming it as a whole, but that's probably a long ways away. Additionally, changing the pay structure of teachers. Teachers are mainly paid based on on experience. So the longer you work as a teacher, the more you're paid, and you get many retirement bonuses once you leave. However, this doesn't really help teachers who are, for instance, raising a family in their 30s and 40s and maybe are pretty new to the profession and or are sort of just getting their foot in. Um, they are on the lower end of the pay scale, which doesn't really make sense because they are probably in the most need of money. So balancing out that pay scale to make it more even throughout the entire career of a teacher would really help. Additionally, teachers end up oftentimes working past the age of retirement for the average American, so those retirement bonuses aren't as relevant as in other professions. Also, studies have shown, as for benefits, studies have shown that increasing teacher pay leads to higher quality teachers and teacher applications. This is seen in other countries like Singapore and Finland and Luxembourg, where teachers are better compensated. You have more better educated teachers who finish higher in their college classes and are more qualified when they enter the profession than those in the United States. Studies have shown that the increase in teacher pay directly leads to more students pursuing higher education, as well as a decrease in adult poverty and an increase in students' average salaries when they reach adulthood. So, paying teachers more leads to better teachers, which instills good values in students, and leads to them having more successful financial careers. Now we take a look at why this is possible. Many would lead you to believe there's simply not enough money for um, us to increase teacher pay. However, that's not true. If we look at the U.S. government's $700 billion defense budget, we see that there is a lot of money that could be spent in other places. If we wanted to increase teacher pay by $10,000 a year, for example, which would change millions of people's lives, that would only cost us $35 billion, which is a smallish percentage of that enormous defense budget, which is obviously more than the next 11 countries combined. So we would still be definitely way above um, all of our all other nations, and still be able to greatly increase teacher salary if we slashed into the defense budget. Additionally, tax credits for teachers is another proposed solution, as well as just simply different pay structures, and all of these are sort of alternative solutions that seem to beat around the bush. However, the fact is that teacher pay needs to greatly increase. Many teachers struggle, and um, it's quite a shame that we value teachers so little in the United States to this day. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, thank you.